Hi, and thank you for joining me on this video. If you already don't know who I am, my name is Patrick. So today's video is going to be about the pledge to the American flag. So where did that come from, guys? Does anybody know? Well, if you do a quick Wikipedia search on the pledge to the American flag or the man that wrote it by the name of Francis Bellamy, you're going to find out something real quick. So let me just read you what I selected to read you off of Wikipedia. I didn't include everything that Wikipedia has to offer. Feel free to go check it out yourself. But I have some other things to add to it as well. The Pledge of Allegiance was written in August 1892 by Francis Bellamy, 1855 to 1931, who was a Baptist minister, a Christian socialist, who is also a Mason and the cousin of the socialist utopian novelist Edward Bellamy. Bellamy's gravesite is located in the Rome Cemetery in Rome, New York. The original Pledge of Allegiance was published in the September 8th issue of the popular children's magazine, The Youth's Companion, as part of a national public school celebration of Columbus Day. There's another group of people that really are into Columbus, but we'll get to that in a little bit. A celebration of the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus's arrival in the Americas, the event was conceived and promoted by James B. Upham, a marketer for the magazine, as a campaign to instill the idea of American nationalism in students and sell flags to public schools. According to author Margaret S. Miller, this was in line with Upham's vision, which he would often say to his wife, Mary, if I can instill into the minds of our American youth the love for their country and principles on which it was founded, and creating them an ambition to carry on the ideals which the early founders wrote in the Constitution, I shall not have lived in vain. The pledge was supposed to be quick and to the point. Bellamy designed it to be recited in 15 seconds. As a socialist, he had initially also considered using the words equality and fraternity, but decided against it, knowing that the state superintendents of education on his committee were against equality for women and African Americans. Oh. Bowing to the desires of other people, huh? Francis Bellamy and Upham had lined up the National Education Association to support the youth campaign as a sponsor of the Columbus Day observance, along with the use of the American flag. By June 29, 1892, Bellamy and Upham had arranged for Congress and President Benjamin Harrison to announce a proclamation making the public school flag ceremony the center of the Columbus Day celebrations. This was used as Presidential Proclamation 335. Subsequently, the pledge was first used in public schools on October 12, 1892, during Columbus Day observances organized to coincide with the opening of the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, Illinois. It's all got to do with more Columbus worship, I guess. In 1923, the National Flag Conference called for the words, "My flag," to be changed to "the flag of the United States." Oh, by the way, the pledge to the flag that you know now is not the one that Francis Bellamy came up with. As you just heard here, it used to just say, "My flag," so whatever flag you serve, to being more specific about the flag of the United States. But really what I was going to point out is Francis Bellamy never actually put "under God" in the pledge. In 1923, the National Flag Conference called for the words "My flag" to be changed to "the flag of the United States," so that the new immigrants would not confuse loyalties between their birth countries and the United States. The words of America were added a year later. The United States Congress officially recognized the pledge for the first time in the following forum on June 22, 1942. Louis Albert Bowman, an attorney from Illinois, was the first to initiate the addition of "under God" to the pledge. The National Society of the Daughters of American Revolution gave him an award of merit as the originator of this idea. He spent his adult life in Chicago area and was a chaplain of the Illinois Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. At a meeting February 12, 1948, Lincoln's birthday, he led the society in swearing the pledge with the two words added, "under God." And I have some words for you too. What God? The Lord Jesus Christ is never named in the pledge to the flag. So it's a God of these people, obviously. He stated that the words came from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, though not all manuscript versions of the Gettysburg Address contain the words "under God." All the reporters' transcripts of the speech as delivered do, as perhaps Lincoln may have deviated from his prepared text and inserted the phrase when he said that the nation shall under God have a new birth of freedom. Bowman repeated his revised version of the pledge at other meetings. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Or stinky. It already did smell like dung though, but anyway. Because, listen, I don't know why a Christian would want to swear a pledge with all these other people of other faiths. Talking about swearing under one God with him. But when you read this, it makes more sense. In 1951, the Knights of Columbus, the world's largest Catholic fraternal service organization, or also known as Catholic Freemasonry, which my grandfather was a part of. I have other videos showing some of the little cute, filthy Knights of Columbus trash that he held on to. Do check out my videos, because the Knights of Columbus, they swear some other nasty oaths that it makes the whole flag issue a very moot issue. Anyway, the Knights of Columbus, the world's largest Catholic fraternal service organization, also began including the words "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance. In New York City, on April 30th, 1951, the Board of Directors of the Knights of Columbus adopted a resolution to amend the text of their Pledge of Allegiance at the opening of each meetings of the 800 Fourth Degree Assemblies of the Knights of Columbus by the addition of the words "under God" after the words "one nation." Over the next 2 years, the idea spread throughout Knights of Columbus organizations nationwide. On August 21, 1952, the Supreme Council of the Knights of Columbus, at its annual meeting, adopted a resolution urging that the change be made universal, and copies of this resolution were sent to the President, the Vice President, as presiding officer of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The National Fraternal Congress meeting in Boston, September 24, 1952, adopted a similar resolution upon the recommendations of President Supreme Knight Luke E. Hart. Several state fraternal congresses acted likewise almost immediately thereafter. This campaign led to several official attempts to prompt Congress to adopt the Knights of Columbus's policy for the entire nation. These attempts were eventually a success. Oh, imagine that. In 1952, Susan Arnold wrote a letter to President Truman suggesting the inclusion of "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Langmack was a Danish philosopher and educator who came to the United States in 1911 to pervert everyone further with his delusion. Oh, excuse me, that part wasn't in there. He was one of the originators of the prayer breakfast and a religious leader in Washington, D.C. I guess he was a Billy Graham at his day, right? President Truman met with him along with several others to discuss the inclusion of "under God" just before with "liberty and justice." At the suggestion of the correspondent, Representative Louis C. Rawbolt of Michigan sponsored a resolution to add the words "under God" to the pledge in 1953. The phrase "under God" was incorporated in the Pledge of Allegiance June 14, 1954, by a joint resolution of Congress amending Section 4 of the Flag Code enacted in 1942. On October 6, 1954, the National Executive Committee of the American Legion adopted the first resolution, first approved by the Illinois American Legion Convention in August 1954, which formally recognized the Knights of Columbus for having initiated and brought forward the amendment to the Pledge of Allegiance. Swearing the Pledge of Allegiance Swearing of the pledge is accompanied by a salute. An earlier version of the salute, adopted in 1982, was known as the Bellamy salute. It started with the hand outstretched towards the flag, palm down, and ended with the palm up. Because of the similarity between the Bellamy salute and the well-known Nazi salute, you all really need to investigate the roots of what you're into. Developed later, the United States Congress instituted the hand over the heart gesture as a salute to be rendered by civilians during the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem in the United States, instead of the Bellamy salute. Removal of the Bellamy salute occurred December 22, 1942, and Congress amended the flag code language first passed into law June 22, 1942. Attached to bills passed in Congress in 2008 and then in 2009, Section 301B(1) of Title 36 United States Code. Language was included which authorized all activity due to military personnel and all veterans in civilian clothes to render a proper hand salute during the raising and lowering of the flag, when the colors are presented, and during the national anthem. So anyway, let me show you some cute pictures here of the Bellamy salute. Looks like same spirit was going on with the patriotism as Hitler was using with these salutes. But now a lot of people are like, now where did it say that Bellamy was a Mason? That's fine. I knew that was going to come up, and that's perfect and dandy and everything. So let's read here from the Grand Lodge of British Columbia in Yukon. They have a thing right here about Francis Bellamy. Let me read this to you. Francis Julius Bellamy, one-time Baptist minister and prominent member of the Christian Socialist movement, wrote the original USA Pledge of Allegiance, first published September 8, 1892, issue the Youth's Companion. Bellamy, then a committee and chairman of the National Education Association, which is also a huge enemy of Jesus Christ, structured a public school program around a flag-raising ceremony and a flag salute. His Pledge of Allegiance. This pledge since has come under several, sometimes controversial revisions. Bellamy's original words were, and by the way, I'm not swearing this oath. I piss on this oath. Pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice and Freemasonry for all. Oh, yeah, you know, he didn't put Freemasonry on there. Bellamy considered adding the word equality to stand with liberty and justice, but feared it would be too controversial. In 1924, against Bellamy's wishes, the American Legion and the Daughters of the American Revolution pressured the National Flag Conference to replace the words "my flag" with the flag of the United States of America. In 1954, under pressure from the Knights of Columbus, Congress officially added the words "under God." And he was a member of Little Falls Lodge number 181 in Little Falls, New York. So what's my biggest problem with the flag? I mean, other than, you know, Matthew 5:33 and James 12, I mean, the Bible explicitly condemns oath swearing. But really, my biggest thing is, why would a Christian swear an allegiance to an unknown God? Because the God that the American flag represents is the God of abortions, murder, sodomy, sodomite marriage, and every other ungodly law that is on the books of this country. That is the God that this country serves. It is not the God, the Lord Jesus Christ. So what God is it that this country serves? Because the country hates Jesus Christ. I mean, you must be mad, because the head of this country right now, Barack Obama, if you think that that man is a Christian, then you might want to go learn what salvation is, because obviously you do not know it.
My Muslim faith.
Study closely Revelation 13. You'll realize that before people even took the mark of the beast, they were too busy worshiping and bowing down to its false image. The flag is a precursor to the false image of the beast. Whether you want to accept that or not, the flag is an image of the government, and I'm sorry if you refuse to see the truth in the matter, but I did present it to you. Anyway, I do appreciate your time for watching my videos. I know this is a difficult one for most people to swallow. Anyway, do prayerfully consider my words, and may the Lord Jesus Christ richly bless all of you, and that includes even my enemies.